what she said to us was, think about where you're studying, think about why you're studying, think about when you're studying, think about what time you're studying. All of those questions are really, really important in terms of figuring out why it is you're not getting as much out of your study time as you could. Because a lot of the times you're doing the work, or it feels like you're doing the work, but you're just not getting the information, or it's not translating into good marks, right? So think about studying smart and not hard, because you could be studying as much as possible, but you're not studying in the right way, or in a way that works for you and how you learn. And as a result, you know, you're not getting, it's not translating into good marks, or you're not getting it down on paper correctly, right? So for me, for example, what kind of learner am I? I like to write things down. I also like to go over things several times. I have this weird thing where I'm like, I need to go over the work at least 6 times. I don't know where that number came from, but that's what I know. I know I have to read it out loud. I have to write it. I have to hear me say it. I have to, you know, like I just have to see and hear and read over and over and over until I get it. And not in the way that you're memorizing, because what I then do is make sure that I can explain it in my own words. So it's not necessarily rote learning. It's more of just having as much contact with the information and with the concepts as possible, so that I can explain it to someone else who has no idea, you know, about the law, or just a friend, or to myself, just in my own words. That's how I know I've understood a concept. So that's how I learn, right? And then I like to write down my notes. I don't feel like I've studied if I don't have written down notes. So that's my studying method. Where am I studying? I'm not someone who likes studying in the library. I know some people do, but I hate the library. It's too tense. And it's like fake tense, you know what I'm saying? Especially in your exam time, you can't even breathe too loud before people are like, you're making noise, kind of. And I hate that. So yeah, so I stay away from the library. I prefer my room, because I can get up and go as much as I please. I can talk out loud, which is what I like to do in order for me to learn. I don't know, it's a lot freer. And I can also just literally like wake up at, I don't know, 1 p.m. You know, in my pajamas, get my books, start studying right away. I don't have to get ready, get dressed, go to the library. It's too much stress, right? So that's where I prefer. But where are you studying? Are you studying in an environment that's conducive for learning? Are you studying in an environment that's quiet, that's clean, that's safe? All of those things are important in order for you to maximize your learning, right? And then when, that varies as well. So I've turned into like, I used to be an early morning, like 3 a.m., 2 a.m. riser to study, right? Because it's completely quiet. Now I can't do that. Once I've hit the bed at 10 or 12 or whatever, I'm out for the whole night until 8 a.m. But I'm most productive from like 8 to 1. After lunchtime, don't ask me to do anything that requires a brain. I'm not interested. So that's my study pattern right now. So I figured that out quite quickly, and so I maximize my mornings and make sure that I work through the morning. And then the last question is, why am I studying? And this is really just about, do you want this? You know, why are you doing this degree? And this would be something that you would have already heard me talk about in my previous video about staying motivated. But it's important, you know, keep that in the back of your mind. Why is it that you want to be a lawyer, or you want a law degree? And then use that to push you when it's 3 a.m. and you have literally back-to-back exams, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you're completely tired, you want to give up. That's the time when you get these super existential thoughts. Do I even want to be a lawyer? Do I want this? All of this stuff starts to come up at that time when you're super stressed. So, and I've noticed that is a normal thing. It happens every exam period where I'm just like, I don't even know if I want this, I'm giving up, you know, but it's normal. And just kind of learn how to go through those motions and to deal with that with that stress and that anxiety, and what helps is to keep, is to remember what it is you're working towards and why. Yeah, and then the next thing is probably just study groups. Study groups are weird, like you have to just make sure that you're working with people who understand your work ethic and who have a good work ethic, the same work ethic as you. You have to, try and get people who have the similar courses that you're taking and a similar schedule that you have, because sometimes it can be weird when you've all agreed to contribute for notes or something, or you've divided up the work, and then because your schedules are all messed up, some people can't have the work ready by a certain time, and it can be very messy with study groups if you are not in a group of people that complement each other in terms of how they work and how they study, because the way I write notes is not going to be the way someone else writes notes. So if you're going to be in a study group, you want to keep that in mind as well. Sometimes don't rely on a study group for it to be like your lifeline. Don't not study at all. I prefer to write my own notes always and then use people in my study group, and I've had amazing study partners, but use people in your study group as the kind of people who are like expertise in whatever fields that they've been allocated in the group, right? So those are the people that you go to answer a specific question in past papers, or to explain a specific concept because they've read it in detail, they know the relevant cases, they know the relevant legislation in that area, because that's what they were supposed to focus on in the study group. So use them that way, but don't be like, I'm relying on this person's notes and I'm not even going to study at all. I'm just going to ask them for their notes the night before. And listen, it's not a good idea, because they may not pull through, or you may not understand what's on paper. Just use them as like a backup, and use them as a support system as well. It's nice to have people just to complain with and to cry with and to be like, what the hell's going on, and stuff like that. Finally, just some general stuff about exam preparation. I try to take away as much anxiety as possible, as much stress as possible. The first thing I would say is sleep as much as possible. Try to get your rest. Eat well. This is not the time to be eating crap. What I like to do is meal prep before my exam time, so I literally can just grab and go. I don't have to cook, mess with dishes, none of that. I literally just grab and go and study. I don't have time to be cooking at that time. Take as many breaks as you can, take a walk, like hang with friends if you have the time, or probably everyone's writing exams around that time, so it's a bit difficult, but just find something to unwind and take your mind off of the work, and as often as possible. And pray, meditate, do whatever you need to do to kind of get through the exam period. It can be very, very stressful, but just stay positive, and just know that it's 1 or 2 or maybe 3 weeks of exam time, and then you're going home, on holiday or whatever. So yeah, those are my tips, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that's helpful. I want to keep these videos coming. I'm going to talk in my next video, hopefully, about doing a master's and what that's been like, and also about finding confidence in your writing and just choosing an academic career, because I feel like that's where my life is going right now. Keep your eyes peeled for that stuff. If you want to know how I got this bun, because I always get questions on it, I've recorded a video, so please check that out as well. It will be somewhere here. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe, and yeah, bye. Mwah.